Going.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a nice quarantine. Basically, me and my brother-in-law, we're bored as fuck, so we're gonna start a cooking show. And today we're gonna make mushroom risotto because we looked in our fridge and we've only really got the stuff for mushroom risotto. So first I'm gonna prep the veg and I'm gonna do some of the stuff. First I want to talk to you about these fucking things. Dried porcini mushrooms, they're like literally the best thing in the world. Full of like deep earthy mushroomy flavour. You can get any brand, any type you want, even if it's dried other types of mushroom like shiitakes, fucking oysters, just fucking get whatever you want. And the best thing about them is you soak them in water, all of the flavour goes into the water and then you use the water to cook with. So fucking bang that in your water and it'll do this stuff. Right. Right, so we're gonna prep these fucking onions, right? We all know roughly what we're doing. Just do little bits here and there. You want to get everything quite nice and small with this. Because you don't, you think about eating a risotto, you don't want big chunky bits of onion. You want nice little, small little mini pieces. And use up all of the stuff. You don't have to this isn't chef's table. We're not going crazy with how well we're doing everything or really quickly. We're just chilling out, making a nice meal for our families and our friends. One of the things we're doing. So I guess I should talk about what ingredients we're using. So this is an onion. So it's onion, garlic, celery, carrot. That's your basic Mirepoix, which is a French word, which means onion, carrot, celery, and garlic. I actually have no idea what it actually means. That's okay. We're making it up. This is fun. You know? And what I like to do is just create a load more washing up. So in the future, when you're using stuff, and you're thinking, oh that was nice, I only used one pan. No, you use loads of bowls as well. Because it makes your job easier in the end. There we go. Tip of celery, peel it back and pull, and you get all these stringy bits of stringy celery. And you chuck them in the bin. Don't fucking need it. So this you kind of do like a julienne, and then you cut it. So actually what it's called is a brunoise. But you don't really need to know that. It's just another one of those French words that just means cut it up. So we're just going to cut it up. Oh, it balls it up. Can't have a bin one. That in the bin, George. Put this celery in the bowl. And don't worry if they don't look as perfect as these ones. I know these ones are fucking completely perfect in every way. But sometimes they won't be. And that's okay. But really, honestly, all joking aside, the better your prep is, the better your dish is going to be. Because at the end of the day, when all's said and done, tomorrow's another day, do you know what I mean? I'm eating. I'm just going to talk anyway, even though I'm eating carrot. Garlic. I just recently, the other day, 2 years ago, I decided that chopping garlic into small pieces is shit. Basically, what you want to do is slice the fuckers as thin as you can, because they're just much more amazing. wonderful, like silky little ribbons. Little garlic pieces, and it's good for your self-esteem because you can, you know, give yourself a real round of applause for making such nice small little pieces of garlic. It's good for testing your knife skills, making sure you're on point, on fleek. But again, like, it doesn't have to be very perfect. You just like do it how thin you want them. I'm not here to tell you how thin your garlic should be. I'm not here to do anything. I'm just making risotto, and we're just filming it because why not? It's gonna go viral. We'll try to. We'll try not to. I'm predicting like how many views do you reckon, Carl? Like 5
million?
5 or 6? No views. 5 or 6 views. There you go. Right, so Mirepoix, which is French for, what's it French for?
The stuff.
The stuff, yeah. Garlic, porcini mushrooms, rosemary. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roast the mushrooms because I think it gives better flavour. So let me get my shit together and then we'll do that. So a little tip, right? When you're roasting stuff and you want it to be like crispy roasted, get a pan, get some oil, and just heat it up in your parents' very middle class oven. Because when you add the stuff to the hot oil, it's going to immediately start to sizzle and caramelise, which is what we want. That's why we're roasting it. If we just want it to be cooked, we'd boil it. But why would you boil mushrooms? So I'm just going to quarter these because it's nice fucking quickie wiki. I'll just do it badly as well. I don't give a fuck. What do I care? Am I going to do all of them? Yeah, I'm going to do all of them. Alright, that's enough. I'm going to keep some for saute. I'll do one more.
It'll make all the difference.
Yeah, that's completely changed the dish, bro. Alright, and I'm gonna do them with this rosemary over it. I get some more rosemary for the other stuff.
Straight off the garden.
So, like, that's what you this is what it should look like, guys. Just a bunch of crap everywhere. So we've got nice hot oil. Try not to splash it on yourself. You chuck in dried thyme, fennel seeds. Salt. Back in. They'll take, as long as they take, like keep checking them every 10 minutes, make sure they're not burnt. You'll be alright. Huh? One of the things that really pisses me off about one of the things that really pisses me off about cooking videos, you know, like those ones with the camera above, like this one, where they just sort of like, you can tell they're just putting stuff in cold oil. It's like this has been warming up for a bit. I'm going to put the oil in and I'm going to let the oil heat up as well. And in the meantime, I'm going to check on these mushrooms. They're looking kind of close. You see they've got a little bit of caramelization, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to fucking hit them with just some lemon juice. And this is kind of burning my hand now, so I'll put it back in the oven. Woo. Make sure you use a dry tea towel. Okay, so swirl the oil around. If it swirls around, it's hot enough to use. This is vegetable stock. Just there, just sat there, just waiting. And it's super high tech. So just to explain this setup, this side is really hot. This side is medium. These are induction futuristic hobs. So you take your whole Mirepoix. Make sure you can feel that the oil is going to be hot. It's doing that nice little filmy thing. And we're good. Like that. If you want to. Alright. So you want to sweat these down. We don't want them to be too hot. We don't want to burn them at all. So like if it's a little bit slow, just crank up the heat for a little bit. A nice loud sizzle. Once it gets to about that stage, let it chill out again. We're about to learn one of the most important things. I'm being serious now.
Why so serious?
One of the most important things I've learned, being a professional chef, is that, you know how when you make something at home and you're like, that's nice, but like, it's better in restaurants? I'm going to tell you why. Basically there's a point during the cooking process where all the molecules and everything sort of open up, and you can tell things start to become more aromatic, and there's a perfect point where you need to season. And you season at every stage, so everything you put in, you pay attention, you listen, you smell, you use your senses. And there's a perfect point where the flavour that's coming out, you can add a little bit of pep to. Add a little bit of salt, add a little bit of pepper, seasoning as we go. So that by the end, the final seasoning, you don't have to stand there and go, oh, it's not very salty, because it's going to be salty and, perfectly balanced at every stage. That's what we want to be doing. So we're starting to look kind of translucent, things are looking nice. Chuck your garlic in. So the reason why we use a Mirepoix is because onion is pungent, carrot is sweet, celery is salty, and then garlic because it's fucking delicious. But that's like the base of a lot of classic French stuff. And there's different versions for different countries, like there's a Spanish version, there's an Italian version, but the main base that's in loads of stuff, that has the most crossover, like most European countries will use this as a base, and then they'll add like their own little twist on it. So again, the garlic is becoming aromatic. So we're going to hit it with some salt. And some pepper this time. These are leftover mushrooms that I didn't put in the oven. I just cut them real fine because they should just melt in and like depart their flavour really nicely. I'm going to chuck some thyme in the base, because basically anything you put in the base, it's called the base for a reason, it's the bottom. So all of this flavour is going to come out of this stuff and go into the stock that we're going to cook the rice in, and it's all going to turn into this delicious thing. And it's super easy, right? It's nearly there. Another 2 or 3 minutes. Chuck the rice in. So once this is all kind of, you're happy with how it's, it should be just nearly sticking to the bottom of the pan. The mushrooms are cooked, everything's kind of smelling super nice. No point keeping that, is there? I'll just put it all in. This is 500 grams. 5 people. You could probably get away with doing 400 grams, but I wasn't paying attention. So for about 30 seconds, stir it in, get it nice and a little bit oily. Season it every stage. And it seems like I'm putting a lot of salt in, but I'm not really. And then we hit it with another load. So all this juice, and as long as they're small pieces, like that's going to be delicious. Just chuck it in. Chuck it in, stir it in. So we're getting it over to the hot side. We want it to be hot. So we're cooking, and all of that mushroom flavour is now going into the rice, into the stuff, and we're going to add some wine. Because why not? There was this English, I think he was English, chef who got fired from the BBC because he always drank the wine on set. He was a raging alcoholic. I can't remember his name. This was in like the 80s. I'm not going to do that because I'm sober now. And I don't work for the BBC, so they can't fire me.
You don't work for them yet.
Yeah, that's true. It depends. If the right 5 people see this video, you know, might happen for me. And Kyle, you can come up with me, bro. I'll bring you up on my coattails. My success. And then basically, give you a little rundown, and then we'll do the time lapse, and then we'll eat. Because this is it. So like, you get it. Come on, come on. It's like we're gonna go when it's just covering, you know, and you can hear, you can get that nice. You can see the starch is already kind of coming out of the rice, which is what binds it together. So we get to a kind of a point like this where you can see those bubbles there, and it's sort of flat around the side, and then we add more stock. And this is just veg stock, like, again. If it was me, even if I was just making a mushroom risotto, I would use chicken stock because it makes it richer. You get that bony broth, like it's delicious. But we can't because we're cooking for some vegan people. Represent veganism. So again, like the stock is hot as it goes in, so now we can keep it on this cool side. You don't put a lid on it. And you just got to keep stirring it, not too much, not too often. A lot of people think you need to stand over a risotto for the whole time it takes to cook the rice, and you really don't. Like, I mean, this is all happening, this is all delicious and good. Oh my god. We're going to definitely get the roasting mushrooms out now, before they burn. Oh yeah. There we are. Look at that. Delicious. So just leave them to cool down. Somewhere safe. Somewhere that's not going to upset anybody. Keep your station clean, George. And yeah, like you can wander off, go do something else for a little bit. And all you really need to do is just check in the corners. Check in any bits where the heat's uneven, like this bit in this instance, you know. If you're on a gas hob, the middle's going to heat quicker than the sides. If you're on an induction, it's going to do evenly, so keep that in mind. But all you're doing is just stopping it from sticking, so you're not like, you need to stir it in like you're baking a cake. Just stop it from sticking. It's all good, and make sure that it doesn't dry out. I'll see you on the other side. Right, okay, so we've done all this stuff, and like we can see there's a nice sort of layer of nice starchy sauce. The rice is very, very close to cooked. Like basically it is just cooked. So we're going to chuck in all of these mushrooms, all the oil, all the nice charry herbs. Gonna go in there and chuck some parsley, and just before I remembered, if you've got fresh parsley, use fresh parsley, but we ain't got none because we're on lockdown. So we're just gonna stir them in. And the most important bit, if you're serving immediately, and then just put a lid on it. You know how like when you cook a steak, once you're done, you rest it. Works really well for risotto as well. So if there's a little bit of extra, so that little bit of extra starch comes out of the rice as it sits still. So it absorbs that extra liquid, but without drying out, because it's still steaming, it's still cooking. So it's still got that little bit, so it's all going to kind of come together, not be clumpy, but all be sort of one big unit. So yeah, then get your buddies round, crack open some fucking cold ones, or, you know, drink a J2O like a legend, and enjoy. Peace out.